going on, everyone? It's your girl Black Cherry, aka Kristen, here on my channel again, trying to do another movie review. Um, so technically, this is not supposed to be the first time you see me this year of 2022. I actually pre-recorded a video talking about his house actually a couple of weeks ago. Problem is that I deleted my entire file. So, since I'm stupid and I want to feel better about myself, I thought I'd come back on here and pick a different film to review before I go back and redo the other one. I'm kind of like in this weird fugue state where I'm like extremely pissed at myself for deleting an entire file of my work. Um, at the same time, I'm also kind of proud of myself because I wouldn't be a true YouTuber if I didn't have one of those mishaps happening. Whether I delete a file or I have to re-upload, something like that has to happen, right? Anyway, not really sure where I'm going with that, but I'm here going to talk about a different film this time. Excuse me as I put lotion on my face. I've started a new skincare routine and I haven't quite gotten the moisture routine down just yet. So I look a little bit crispy. Now, I'm mostly into horror. You should already know that. I was kind of browsing through Netflix, didn't really see anything that caught my eye other than his house, but something about it, I just don't want to face the trauma right now. Instead, I think I'm going to review this movie called AfterMath. Seems interesting. If you haven't seen it, it's about, I guess, this couple that's going through some hard times and they are heading in a new direction by buying a house. It's pretty cliche. So, I mean, it's not like we haven't heard that sort of narrative in a horror film before, but let's give it a chance as I have nothing else to do. So, let's get started. I'm already having bad vibes about this movie. In the first 5 seconds of the film, you get a bunch of heavy breathing and something that says inspired by true events. Now, if you don't know anything about the term inspired by true events, technically they could take any aspect of a real story and apply it to a movie and title it as inspired by true events. So, let's say in the movie that the main character runs over a cat. They could use that, put that in the movie, and everything else could be completely fictional. But the part about the person running over a cat is real and therefore inspired by true events. It's kind of stupid. I'm not saying that that's the case with this film, but I'm already hesitant. Okay, so clearly we're starting off very intense. You and I, as the audience, just witnessed a murder. The first 10 seconds starting this movie. And then it pans over to this team of, I guess, crime scene cleaning crew, I'm guessing. I don't know, but the guy in the blonde hair and the blue eyes is clearly like who we're supposed to follow. They pan over to him a lot, and he seems to be the leader, I guess.
Like on the wall. All I'm saying is that's kind of a douche move.
You can't call a dead man a douche.
Why not?
Because it's insensitive.
That was awkward. And then we pan over to, I guess, the lady in waiting or lady protagonist. She is a photographer, designer. I don't know what she is. She's making dresses and taking pictures, I guess. And That's not funny. That's not funny. It's not funny. Okay, so we're getting a little more deeper into the story now. So, I mean, I don't remember who these two, what their name is, but apparently she cheated on he, and they are going to marriage counseling, trying to work things through, talking with a therapist and everything. Honestly, the audacity of this woman.
Have you considered a change of environment?
Yeah, he's trying to change. He's thinking about changing an environment, changing from her to a different person.
Of a new environment. Give yourselves the gift.
Your first marriage is kind of shot to shit. What? I'm just being honest. Which sounds like the missing link here, so you're welcome. I'm just terrified that he's never gonna forgive me. You fucked up, sure, but he's not the only victim in the situation. I know you won't say this because you'd rather take the blame, so I'll say it for you. Don't. Your needs weren't being met. I can't use that as an excuse.
I always have that one friend that, for some reason, doesn't hold you accountable for your actions at all. It's always the other person's fault. I think that's her.
You don't understand. This place is perfect.
It's disturbing.
I promise you, you wouldn't be able to tell that anything happened there. I know I cleaned it myself.
This dude is thinking about buying the murder house that he just cleaned in order to heed the advice of the therapist, marriage counselor, whatever, that they're going to. I'm gonna just go out on a limb here. I don't think that is the right approach.
Domestic abuse, child pornography, asbestos.
I don't want to move into a house where I'm haunted by the image of someone's brains being splattered all over the living room wall.
Well, I don't want to sleep in a bed where I have to relive my wife sucking another guy's dick.
Oh.
Enjoy the house.
Robert.
Oh my God. Yes. We just bought a house.
I don't know where the heck the horror is in this movie.
That's where he killed her? Oh, so creepy. Thank you. Please, I am just pointing out the obvious.
I think Danny might be the smartest person in this entire film.
Fuck this.
And yet she's kind of stupid. If she actually paid attention in horror films, she would know that going upstairs is probably the worst thing that you could do. The front door was right there, like 5 feet.
There is this man. He's rail thin, pale.
In the home?
Yes. I swear to you, I saw him.
And so you had a pale man crawl into your hallway and attack you. And you didn't think to report it.
There was this tennis ball that he put on my bed.
Okay, so he put a tennis ball on your bed.
No, the tennis ball, it was underneath my bed. And I could not reach it, so I went to grab something. And when I came back, he had put it back on my bed.
I mean, I personally believe her. Hi. So it's been a couple of days. Watching AfterMath took a lot longer than expected. I'm trying this new format. Haven't quite figured out my flow just yet, but bear with me here. So, here reviewing. I watched the film already, the whole film, and I have words to say. So, maybe we should start from the beginning. So, Kevin and Natalie are married, and you don't catch it in the first couple of minutes of the movie, but it definitely shows itself up like maybe 10 or 15 minutes that they're having marital problems. Marital problems. I speak English, apparently. They're trying to make things work, and Kevin had the bright idea of buying the house in which he cleans a house where a couple was murdered in. He cleans houses that had crimes in them. I forgot what those are called. I guess the cleaners. He cleans houses, he cleans up crime scenes. And so he thinks that it'd be good to buy this house just to heed the words of like their therapist and get like a fresh start or whatever. Because everybody knows that if you want your marriage to work, just go and buy a property that had a murder in it and don't tell your wife about it until like you've already talked to the previous owner. Because that's how you build a strong relationship. I kind of hated this movie. It's going along this basis of like a pseudo haunted house. The house isn't haunted. Shockingly, there is a man living in their walls. I think they call it squatting. And they didn't know about it. And this man apparently has a fixation on women who were unfaithful to their partners or something, or along those lines. So this man has developed a fascination with Natalie and is creeping her and her husband out. I won't say that I dislike this movie. I would say that maybe I'm indifferent of it. First, mainly is the characters. I think the only two characters that probably have at least a little more two-dimensional, three-dimensional like flow to them is Natalie and Kevin, and that's to be expected since they are the protagonists in the film. But everyone else was kind of unnecessary. Like, there was no point of having the perverted dumb friend with the sassy friend to provide some sort of comedic relief within the film. They weren't even in the film long enough to actually like do that job anyway. Natalie's sister Danny, who served as sort of like she was the comedic relief and maybe voice of reason, but they only introduced her so they could kill her off within like the first like 30 minutes or so, or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't know. She died. The whole entrance story of like Natalie having issues with her mom being a free spirit and not raising her, I don't know what the reason to bring her into that light was. I mean, they could have just talked about it and probably would have garnished the same effect. Like, the mom literally had one scene, and it didn't make a difference within the movie at all. What I'm saying is that we could probably have had the whole movie with Natalie and Kevin and maybe the therapist in there just to provide context. And I don't think it would have lost sight on the movie at all, but I may be reading into it too much. The second of it is the logistics of the plot. So essentially, all this crazy stuff, this bad stuff is happening to Natalie and Kevin. And it turns out that all of this was happening because the previous owner's husband wanted the house for financial reasons or whatever, and was trying to scare them out the house. So, like, most of the weird, creepy stuff, the stuff that caused a lot of anxiety and, like, stuff within the marriage was due to this actual person. Due to the husband who they actually had met before. But then it goes to the left to when you realize that, oh, there actually is someone living in the house and is also causing issues and was spying on them and developed an infatuation with Natalie to the point where he wanted to kill Kevin and killed her sister. Which I don't know why he killed her sister. That was a random point, but I guess he needed a shock factor because the movie was going pretty slow. I would say that there was very little murder beside that little bit in the first 5 seconds of the film. And then that brings me to another point. Now, when you look at the house itself, they didn't really pan into like the entirety of the home, but this guy has been able to stay in like this little pocket in the house, within the walls of this house, and I'm just confused. Like, was that like a design choice from like the builder, the owner? Like, how the heck this guy has a whole room in this house that no one ever knows about, and he's able to get around the house within the walls, being hunched over like a little rat or something, going in between the walls and stuff. And I'm just like, isn't there usually insulation? Isn't there usually like something there impeding that movement? And also, where are these secret passageways that allow this person to just like get around and into the house, other than that one in the closet? But that's it. So this guy's just living in the house. I mean, I know squatting does have an that's the whole like true story part where they're like, this is based on a true story. Like, someone squatting in someone's house and you don't know it is possible, but at the same time, it didn't explain like where he was squatting at. Like, I don't believe the house had a basement nor like an attic, or maybe if he did have an attic, he wouldn't have to go into the closet that's downstairs to, I don't know. And then this guy is apparently a genius. He has the whole house wired, whole house electronically controlled, so he's able to change the temperature within the walls. He's able to lock the door electronically, like put on the panic button and stuff like that. And I think my type A personality just wanted to know more details into this, and I just wasn't going to get it. But other than that, I mean, the movie was good. I think people would enjoy it. It's not something to rave about. It's not something that I would praise automatically. It's certainly not in my classics. I would put it in my classes as, and like I would watch again. It's more of just something to do on a Saturday night. Yeah, I give it about a 6 out of 10, which is like, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it either. And yeah, I guess that's it.